we need to have a workers' relationship.
Yeah.
Even in our homes, we need to have
Yeah.
a workers' relationship. It has to be announced.
Okay.
Now and again, they need to know this is work.
Yes.
This is work. Even if until you've been here 5 years, this is work.
Yes.
Then we found that she had a bottle and we could see the roots.
Yeah.
Like big roots in the bottle.
Yes.
It's like, Auntie, what is this? I know this is medicine. You know, it makes my face look youthful.
What?
But this is an elderly woman who's like 45. Like you've reached 45. How do
Yes,
you want
what
to look?
do you want to look
Why
like?
do you look youthful? Oh, Shaksa said it. I never forget what she said. Auntie, no chepe sapamenso. There's a place where they begin to feel indispensable.
Yes.
Like you cannot replace them.
Yeah.
There now you have to wake up.
Okay.
You have to wake up and say, okay, I think we need to draw boundaries.
Hello and welcome to the Money and People podcast, the show where we connect the dots between financial success and the power of human capital. Today, we are joined by Mrs. Nsungwe Siatwambo, and we are discussing the topic, challenges that women face in finding good childcare. Hi, Nsungwe.
Hi, Delia.
How are you?
I'm great, thank you. How
Thank
are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for agreeing to be on the show.
You're welcome.
And for agreeing to come and discuss such a pertinent issue. A lot of women that I interact with do share this as a struggle. You know, finding good childcare is such a big struggle that they're facing. So I'm happy that we get to just dissect this topic today.
Yes, please.
So for those who don't know who Nsungwe is, who is Nsungwe?
Nsungwe, just like you've mentioned, my name is Nsungwe, Mrs. Siatwambo. I run a cleaning company. Alongside, also, we train professional house helps and nannies.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing this business?
I've been doing this business for the past 13 now. Yes.
13 years.
Yes.
Oh, wow. And as a mom, I'm sure you've also been on the other side.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what else do you do apart from running the child care?
Apart from that, of course, I'm also a founder of Fruitful Women.
Okay.
Yes, where every year we gather women that are trusting God for the fruit of the womb.
Yeah.
And also not just that, it's not just women now that are trusting God for the fruit of the womb. It's for everyone.
Yeah.
Because I've realized we've had different testimonies away from people that are trusting God for the fruit of the womb, and also just other businesses.
Okay.
Yes.
So you're a business lady.
Yes,
And
full-time entrepreneur.
yeah, and I think for me, the first time that I came across your page was Fruitful Women. Before I even knew that you ran a cleaning company, I came for one of your conferences.
Yes,
I don't know if you know that, but I was
You
newly
told me, but I
married.
never saw
Yes,
you.
I was newly married and I came for that conference. And I think when I followed your page is when I now started seeing your cleaning company and other things like that. So you're
Nice.
like an all-rounded
And I thought it
businesswoman.
was vice versa. I thought it was from the cleaning then.
No. So maybe next time we'll bring you on the show just to talk about what you're doing with the Fruitful Women work as
Please,
well.
it will be an honor.
Okay.
Mm.
So Nsungwe, if you weren't running your cleaning company, what else would you have been doing?
I've never thought about that, eh?
Yes. You're really passionate about it.
I've never. This is actually the first time, like, what would I have been doing?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, if I wasn't doing a cleaning company,
Yeah.
I've never really thought about it.
Okay. So you found your passion.
I think so. I have, because even it's not just something that I studied now. Growing up, my mother used to have a med center. So I
Oh.
grew up in a house where my mother used to train nannies.
Oh, okay. So that's what made you
Yes.
get inspired to go into this business.
Yes.
What's the name of your cleaning company?
Haven Cleaners.
Okay.
Yeah.
So even if someone wants to like get a trained helper or childcare, they have to go through Haven.
They have to go through Haven.
Okay. All right. And you've talked a little bit about the fact that your mom ran a maid center, right? So is there any difference that you have noticed between when she was running her maid center back then and how maid centers are being run today?
Yes, it's totally different.
Okay.
Yes, because what normally used to happen, I don't know that you would want me to talk about the difference.
Yes, you can
Yes.
talk about that.
The difference right now is like right now, we are having people that don't want to be trained.
Mm.
Yeah. So, but then we've put a qualification that if you're going to pass through heaven, you have to be trained.
Okay.
But growing up, I used to see people wanted to learn.
Yeah.
They wanted to learn, like, okay, how do I do this? How do I do this? They wanted to learn. But now it's about people want to do it the fast way, even the
Yeah.
maids themselves. So we have to get to the mind first and say, okay, for you to have this job, we have to train you. There are those who say, no, madam, I know everything. You can call my boss, but then we still need to train you. We still need to see what you're able to do. Even if you've said, okay, I've worked for 5 years, we still need to see it at the center.
Yeah.
Because even if someone said, no, I can give you contacts, my boss. We've had instances where someone has just spoken to a friend who
To
said,
pretend to be the former
yes,
boss.
yes.
Oh,
But then,
no.
along the way, because I know how I asked the questions, later on realized that no, this was not actually the former employer.
Yeah.
Yes, this is just someone they know. Yeah, so even
Yeah.
a relative who speaks good English.
Yes. Oh, my
Yeah, it
goodness.
has happened a lot of times.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
So there's also that fraud in terms of the reference check.
Mm-hmm,
So right
mm-hmm,
from the start, if you are not asking those proper questions, you may find that
mm-hmm.
the recommendation you got is not
It's
even a
totally
real.
wrong. And
Oh,
most of
my
the
goodness.
times, because I just don't ask them on the first day,
Yeah.
tomorrow I'll ask them again. If they miss a word, you cannot miss the truth.
Yes.
Yeah, you realize, but yesterday you told me this.
Yes.
Today it's not tiring. And later on, you realize that this person was just lying
Yeah.
like 50%.
Oh, wow.
Already that's a red flag.
Yes.
If you can lie to me here, meaning you also go lie where we'll send you.
Yes, exactly. Oh my goodness,
Mhm.
that's crazy. So we've talked a little bit about how there are those issues where you're trying to hire someone, they give you false references, but what other challenges do you think mothers are facing today in finding good, reliable nannies or helpers?
Okay, that's a good question. This is one thing I get on a daily basis. So I'm failing to find a good house help. So, being in this business for a long time, I've come to realize that it's not just on the helper side.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's also on the employer side.
Mhm.
But first, let me start with the nanny side or the maid side. We are
Yeah.
living in a generation where it's a fast generation.
Mhm.
And you come to realize that way back, people were okay to live as a family and like a big family, extended family.
Mhm.
But now a maid is okay with us renting a house. Why am I saying this is a problem? You find someone will come to the center, and the only reason why they want to work,
Mhm.
it's because they don't want to stay in, let's say, their relative's house. Yeah, so you
Oh.
find that they'll come to a med center if they're able to afford rentals
Yeah.
for the next 3 months or
Yeah.
so, that's okay for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now that is becoming a problem because people are not, it's not the passion that they have.
Mhm.
It's because they just want to sort out a problem for a particular time and say, okay, in these 3 months, if I can sort out myself, I'll look for help for somewhere else.
Yeah.
And also, people are looking for capital.
Yeah.
Yes. So one of the things that I've come to do as a maid trainer, when you come, I
Mhm.
tell them one thing: I can teach you how to clean,
Yeah.
but if you don't have compassion for this job, it's something I cannot teach you.
Yes.
It's either you have to be willing. This is something that can just be imparted on you by you being here. I
Yeah.
can't teach you how to be compassionate
Yeah.
towards kids. I can teach you how to clean the stove, but I cannot teach you how to be compassionate towards the children.
Yes.
So if you don't have it, we can't force you.
Yes.
So if I see someone is able to stay around for a month without getting paid, they're ready for a job.
Mhm.
So if someone comes and say, no, I can clean, no, don't be in a rush to train them. The way
Okay.
they'll say it, I can do it, is the same way they'll
Yeah.
leave your house. I'm leaving right now, right now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So people are not compassionate about this job,
Mhm.
and it's like it's like an option to say, okay, if this doesn't work,
I
yeah.
can
And
try
I
this,
always
yeah.
tell people, just like being a teacher is a passion and doing nursing, it's a calling.
Yes.
So also I've come to realize that also being a house help in
Yeah.
some way, it's a
It's a
calling.
calling.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's a calling. I've had, growing up, I always share the story. I only saw, I think, about three one of the long-serving maids stayed in my mother's house for about 14, 15 years.
Wow.
Yeah, so I came to realize, and later on, why she stopped, she died. She got sick. Unfortunately, she passed on.
Okay.
Yeah, and another one who stayed for 10 years, and another one who
Mhm.
stayed for 7 years in my
Mhm.
mother's house.
Mhm.
So, and also me having my own house, I've
Mhm.
come to realize that no, if this someone is not called to do this,
Yeah.
you can't force it.
Yes.
Yeah, so even when we're doing the checklist on recruiting, we have to check, okay, does this person look like they have it? Because if you force someone, say, oh, so please take care of my child. These are the casualties that we are having.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Okay. And then from the employer's side, you mentioned that there's also
From the employer
challenges.
side,
Mhm.
from my experience,
Mhm.
I've had quite a number. You know that you've given someone a good nanny.
Yes.
And let's say, for example, this is probably a newlywed. I've come
Yeah.
to realize some of them, it comes in after childbirth. Most of them
Mhm.
will say, Auntie So, because this is how people call me after.
Yes.
Auntie So, I think I've noticed there's a very big difference before she had children and now.
Mm.
Then I've come to realize that what comes to play, sometimes you'll find that someone has got a good house help.
Yeah.
They've been together for a long time, let's say 1 year, 2 years. And
Yeah.
when madam has a baby, some people, they're not handling well the postpartum depression. Yes, and now
Yes.
the effect begins to affect the helper
Yeah.
because she's the only one they're spending time with. You'll
Oh
find that
no.
some examples that I've gone to sort out issues in people's homes, and you find that no, here this is not about the maid. This is also about the owner of the house. They need some
Yeah.
time.
Oh.
Because, and where they need some time, when we were growing up, when our
Mhm.
mothers gave birth, you find there's grandma around, there's mommy's
Yes. A
sister.
whole village.
Someone does not feel alone.
Yes.
But now our generation, here is someone, you've just gotten married. Probably your mother will come for a week. She also has a life to live.
Yeah.
She needs to go and find food, or maybe she has a business to run. She's a
Yeah.
full-time manager somewhere. And now you
Yes.
have to be left alone with your helper. So all that pain begins now. Who gets it? It's the helper. So you find that madam's Swanakambe Buin. And it becomes now,
Yes.
no, auntie, so I can no longer work in this house.
Yes.
And secondly, where it falls in for the employer is when, when we look at now, the divorce cases are so high.
Mhm.
And when I sit down, by God's grace, I also do counseling people. I've come to realize that the issue that might be going on between madam and the sir will come and affect the maid.
Oh wow.
So that I'll get a call, and so I don't know what I've done wrong. I've tried to
Yes.
greet madam in the morning,
Oh
but she'll just say
no.
she'll not respond. So you find that sometimes we as employers were not able to draw the line to say, okay,
Yes.
immediately I leave my bedroom, whatever happened should not affect my workers,
Yes.
without knowing that they are also human beings.
Yeah.
And believe you me, just like when, for example, you, Delia, when, for example, you are employed for a week, you know your worth, you know how good you can do this.
Yes.
If you're not receiving that respect, you know your worth, you hold back.
Yes.
Your input won't be
Definitely.
as much. It same
Definitely.
applies to these people. When
Yeah.
they go, they are good nannies, believe you me, Delia.
Yeah.
The eye-trained maids, they are good nannies out there.
Yeah.
But then there are those who are so religious, if they don't get that respect in some way, they'll try to
Yes.
tolerate it for some
For
time. But
some
if it goes on,
time.
they'll say, "Auntie, so I've tried my best."
Yeah.
Yes.
They're
So
also human beings.
yes,
So
so
at some point they can get affected.
yes, they get affected. That's now on the employer's part, the second
Yeah.
reason. And the third reason is when, let's say when you started, you got this helper, things are okay.
Yes.
But along the way, your financial capacity no longer allows you to fund for the maid. Instead of
Yes.
you being open, it becomes a problem. Now you find that instead of her
Yeah.
getting a full salary, you start paying her, oh, I'll give her, you start doing the pay slow.
Yes.
That now, it slows down their motivation.
Yes.
Because I always put myself in their shoes that, okay, if it were me, I'm reporting for work. This is in the rain. You leave at
Yeah.
5, you go, and instead of getting your full salary, let's say you're getting paid 1.5, they give you on the 15, 300, 600.
Yeah.
I have those cases. And they
Yes.
say, no, so we'll pay. And later on, you find that the money has accumulated to 5,000. And these are people, they no longer just for helpers. It's no longer just them working. It goes beyond that. They become also attached to you. Say, they'll remember the good works you did. When madam was okay, let me still try to work. They'll still report. No, they're recording. But if it gets to 10,000, how are you going to foot? That's where the employer's problem comes in. Yeah.
Okay. And speaking a little bit, I'll digress a little bit. You mentioned about sometimes maybe the employer has come on hard times and they are not able to pay. There are also cases where a lot of my friends or colleagues also mention something to say that there are times when their helpers begin to expect to be given certain things beyond. So it's like the boundary has to be set on both sides. So what I mean is there was once when someone mentioned to say she's got a helper who every month asks her for a salary advance. Maybe because she's got debt elsewhere, but because she keeps asking for salary advance, when she gets her salary again, she's broke. So now this colleague of mine was saying, okay, is it even right to have this kind of relationship where I'm the boss, but it's like this person is always asking me for these advances. And sometimes as the boss, I don't have money in the middle of the month when they're also expecting this advance. So I noticed that that began to cause a little bit of tension because it's a good help that you have. It's a good nanny. She's good with the kids. But then if money becomes a contentious issue, either you as the employer are not paying them on time, or you as the employee, your expectation is that now any financial situation. So it's funny because it now didn't end on being, first she told me about the advances to say every month she's asking for advances. But the next thing she started asking for was, you need to buy me lotion. I don't have lotion. This is someone you've paid a salary. She's like, no, madam, you need to buy me lotion. Then now the funny one was she found a plot. And then she came to work and said, madam,
you need to buy the plot.
You need to help me buy a plot. From that money, which I'm supposed to get as gratuity when I quit, can you give me a 7,000?
No.
So I think both sides, there are like boundaries that need to be set.
Yes. One thing about these helpers, the nannies, they've got a certain intelligence.
Okay.
Yes. So even when I'm teaching them, now I'll start with asking for a salary advance. Now that comes to a personal behavior. Yes, this is someone who should have been, it's a personal behavior which they themselves, they need to know when to end. Yes. And also their finances, how do they treat their finances at home? That one is a personal issue. And now when it comes to someone feeling free, we, especially mothers, as long as you're a mother, I don't know that you've heard this before. I respond to that. Whether you've heard this saying, say that these helpers, they stay longer in homes where they're so harsh.
Yes, people do say that.
Yes, but then I've come to realize it's not people being harsh; it's people drawing a boundary. Not forgetting that there are people who are harsh there beyond harsh. But then there's a harsh which is just for you to draw the boundary. What do I mean is that when someone starts work, this, as much as you are studying her, she's also studying you, and actually studying you more. She begins to know your weaknesses. She begins to say, oh, if you easily praise them. She begins to know, oh, madam, my madam likes to praise me. She likes the way I take care of the children. And if they know, they feel comfortable to say, there's a place where they begin to feel indispensable. Like you cannot replace them. There now you have to wake up. You have to wake up and say, okay, I think we need to draw boundaries. Like I'll give you, for example, I once had an experience where I saw people were becoming very comfortable in my home. And I was like, no, this we need to sort it out. So what I started doing, I was like, no, this is work. So every Monday we review. We say, what are we doing wrong? I didn't like this. I didn't like this. I didn't like that. Because if you do it every day, it becomes too much of them. Even me, I don't like it. I'm working every day. I'm receiving correction. But why I decided to start doing that, and I think I've shared it with some clients, it's working. Like when you go for work, we do reviews.
Performance reviews.
Reviews. So I've started doing that to say, no, auntie, I didn't like what you did. That was not nice. I didn't like the way you responded to my child. That was not nice. I keep record. And I think it has helped. So now they know that in this house, we end here.
Okay.
And also, I had from my experience, when you've stayed longer with a house help, they no longer see you as madam.
Yes.
Some even, I had an experience where a friend of mine told me, at Sung, it was my birthday, and the husband said, "Oh, could you share something?" And the helper said, "Ah, you are like my sister." She's like, "Sunga, how do I correct this?" So then, if someone begins to feel like that, they've become too comfortable. And
Yes.
so what you have to do, even if they are living in maids, especially the living in maids, they
Mm-hmm.
begin to feel comfortable, they begin to feel entitled,
Yeah.
It's because they are social beings. Yes.
Yes.
So you constantly need to draw the line. You say, you know what, even if you've been
Yeah.
with me for this long,
Yeah.
I am your madam. Will not
Yeah.
change the way you speak. When you were coming week one, you were kneeling. The
Yeah.
first few months you were kneeling when you come. Now we
Yes.
are in year 2, you've stopped kneeling. What has gone wrong? Have I changed? Have I failed to pay you? Sometimes put up that straight face so that they know that
Yes.
here, madam, they should know that Madam Delia can smile, but there'll be a day where she's serious. They'll
Yes.
know that today is not for us. And I've seen it also in my own house.
Yeah.
It's working. Now,
Okay.
if at all you will reach a level where you cannot correct your help, but no, the way she will treat my children. No, make them know.
Yeah.
Let them know in your face that whether you go or not, we'll
Yes.
still manage. And believe you me,
Yes.
immediately you walk out,
Yeah.
there are a lot of people looking for house help. It might take long, but we'll
Yes.
definitely find
We'll
someone.
find someone.
Yes, so that they should know that they can also be replaced. Because once they
Yes.
know that, especially if the children, because mostly we mothers are like, the children are so used, but your children are so used to your house help, and yet you are failing to control your home, it becomes a problem.
Yes.
Yeah.
You as the woman of the house, you also
Yes.
need to know that certain things are just your responsibility,
Yes.
and to also know that there should be respect both ways. It
Yes.
shouldn't just be one-sided, but if you respect that person and they respect you, then you have a good working relationship.
Yes, and I love that point. This is one thing that I've been really hard on, and I keep preaching it. We need to have a workers' relationship.
Yeah.
Even in our homes, we need to have
Yeah.
a workers' relationship. It has to be announced.
Okay.
Now and again, they need to know this is work.
Yes.
This is work. Even if auntie you've been here 5 years, this is work.
Yes.
And when you see auntie has begun to change, she's become too comfortable,
Yeah.
we need to go back and say, no, we don't do this here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a polite way. So you
Yes,
find
of
a way to,
course.
and especially if at all, like my own, I've had people that are older than me. So you find a way to say, no, auntie, I cannot correct you in front of these other, even in front of my children. Sit her down, lock the door. You tell her, you know what, find a proper way. You
Yes,
say, and
a good approach.
yes, you tell her, speak about the good things that she does. And also tell her, no, you know what, this I'm happy, but there's this part which I'm not happy. I respect you. You are almost probably my mother's age. I respect you, but here I'm the boss. I'm madam. So we need to correct this. And you will see, she's a human being.
Yeah.
She will listen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting stuff. And so I remember, I think earlier you mentioned how you had even stayed before with the helper for, is it 13, 14 years before?
That's in my mother's house.
Yes. That's something that a lot of mothers today or women cannot relate to, because people complain a lot that helpers are not staying for long. So why do we see this thing keep happening, whereby you even feel like, okay, I've finally found someone. You've done all the reference checks, you've introduced them to your children, they look like they're getting along well.
Then one day
Then
they
they
just wake
just
up.
leave. I've remembered I had this funny incident. I went to a maid center, interviewed someone. She was really good.
She was ticking all the boxes.
She ticked all the boxes. I even went to pick her up from her sister's place. Her sister seemed to be a really good person. I got introduced to the family. She came home and she worked in my house for one day and everything was going well. And she just said, I need to go. I need to pack my bags. I said, but have I done anything wrong? And she said, no, 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 no. I just feel like, because she developed a rash. She said, I'm scared of infecting your child. I said, but this is obviously not contagious. Let's go to the hospital. No, 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 no. While she's talking, she's already packing her bag, saying, no, I need to go. I'm scared. What if this rash is contagious? I need to go. She's already walking out the door. And that has shocked me. It was heartbreaking. A friend of mine once said that the heartbreak of a helper leaving you suddenly is worse than a man breaking your heart.
Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. I know, because it's like, for you to go for work, for you to run your programs, you're relying on that
Yes.
person.
Yes.
So immediately everything has to shut down for that
Oh,
moment.
wow.
You know what? Running a med center, I've dealt with, I think, over 1,000 women.
Yeah.
And my experience also, I'll be very honest, there's a spiritual part of maids, which is very awake.
Yeah.
These maids can be maids, but at some point they can be agents. I'll give you an example of what I'll use the example of what you've said. I'm sure you pray in your home.
Yes, we
You
do.
know, I've had experiences where you find a good house help.
Yeah.
And you sit them down. Auntie, what's wrong? Oh, auntie, I cannot just say. And one day God opened my eyes. I was like, no. In that house they pray. She could have been an agent.
Yeah.
A
Maybe that's
silent
why
one.
she was uncomfortable.
Exactly. And
Yes.
also, and another reason could be, when these people come, and we've made declarations of our home.
Yeah.
Those declarations go beyond today.
Yeah.
They go tomorrow, they go in our future.
Yeah.
Someone just leaving could have been a manifestation of your prayers. It's them manifesting in it. They have no reason. Auntie, I just feel I should go. I just feel I need to go.
Yes.
No proper
It
explanation.
was like she was being chased.
Yes,
Yeah.
I had an incident where I was, when I was expecting my fourth child.
Yeah.
And I was so tired and we needed extra help.
Yes.
I told the letter, I need to get another person. So quickly, someone just calls me randomly. And I think that was also school fees for me. I paid somewhere. And she just came in.
Yeah.
And I was even like, this is unlike me. I just don't bring people like this home.
Yes.
So I let her, I was very steady. I let her. Then one morning, I think I had a week of prayer.
Yes.
Then the last day,
Yeah.
I wake up, I'm just telling her, you don't wash the baby's clothes together with adult clothes.
Yes.
Immediately she snapped. Those were my own words. She snapped, I'm telling you. And my husband was like, no, this is it. What has my wife done? My husband, he said, Mommy, please just pack your bags peacefully and go.
Yes.
And the other auntie was like, no, can you please just apologize?
Yes, it's a simple thing.
It's a simple thing here. Just apologize.
Yeah.
So then later on, after like 4 weeks, my longest serving helper comes to tell me and says, Auntie, you know what I found in my phone? She used to take nude photos of herself in the house.
What?
Now imagine we're staying with someone like that in the house. And then later on I learned that no, that was a manifestation.
Yes.
I don't know what God was preserving my home from.
Yes.
So when a maid tells you they are going, don't force it.
Yeah, you let them just
Actually, later on it could be painful, but thank God it happened.
Yes.
So there's also a spiritual part of it.
Yeah.
Because these people, where they come from, especially if you get someone from, let's say, out of town, there are different beliefs out there.
Yes.
I've had people that have come to the med center, they've come with, oh man, no, this bag there's medicine to sustain me at work. It's not harmful to you, auntie, but this one has to keep my weight. And you're like, what? And you open the bag, it's full of roots.
Oh,
like, this is witchcraft, broad daylight.
Yes.
Oh, auntie, there's nothing wrong. This one, so life is spiritual.
Yeah.
Even as you get this helpers, there's a bigger part of the spiritual side.
So do you agree with people searching? Because there's this contentious issue as well where people say, should you really search a helper's bag, especially if they are coming to live with you? Because, yeah, we have heard stories of people bringing in charms into your home, but other people say, no, you need to respect someone's boundaries. How can you feel if it's you, they are searching your bag where you've gone for work?
You know what, Delia? To be honest, when someone comes to work in your home, especially if they're living in maids, it's not the same as someone who work in the office.
Yes.
There they'll go there, they will not sleep there.
Yes.
And at the office, there won't be a time where you nap. There won't be a time where you take a shower. But in your
Yes.
home, that's an office, correct, for them.
Yeah.
But there'll be a time they'll use your bathroom. They'll take a shower.
Yes.
They'll have access to your private space. So
Exactly.
it's different. You are respecting your private space in you
Yeah.
checking their private bag.
Yes.
So there's nothing wrong. Because
Yeah.
these people can carry anything,
Yeah.
you know. And some of the
It's true.
things I had an incident where someone came, and in their bag, they came to the med center, and there was something totally off about that lady.
Yeah.
So, you know, she came later on. We said, okay, I don't know who checked her bag. I forgot. I think it was like about 8 years ago. But anyway, her bag opened. Then we found that she had a bottle, and we could see the roots.
Yeah.
Like big roots in the bottle.
Yes.
It's like, Auntie, what is this? I know this is medicine. You know, it makes my face look youthful. But this is an elderly woman who's like 45. Like you've reached 45. How do you
Yes.
want
What
to
do
look?
you want to look
Why do you
like?
look youthful? I said, oh, she actually said it. I never forget what she said. Auntie, no chepe sapamenso. So it's like, Auntie, you've already grown. Now,
Why do you want
imagine
to?
if we didn't open that bag. And she was,
Mm.
that time, there was a lady who was very stranded. She actually paid another. And she was like, so I will be coming every day to monitor. So she said, I'm going to get this house help.
Yeah.
Then she'll be coming. When going for work, I'll drop her here. So now that
wow.
day, that was the day she was supposed to be picked up, and it was like job on training.
Yes.
Yes, because we have a rule. We don't send out maids that are not trained.
Yes.
Yeah, so I actually had to make that plan sign. So in case of anything, we've agreed that this person is not trained. It's a job on training.
Yes.
Because you know
Yeah.
this dealing with human beings can be something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. It's a lot to chew on,
Mhm.
but I think, yeah, I mean, in some cases, I personally have had to deal with that.
Mhm.
It's not comfortable. It's not a comfortable thing to do. I mean, no employer goes about just wanting to search your bags for the sake of searching it. I mean, it's because of these same stories that we hear. So you want to make sure you are safe and that your children are safe. There are too many stories of people putting things in their lotion. Some of them, they even say that I had a workmate once tell me that she had a helper who quit. And she asked her, why are you quitting? She said, I'm going back to the village. I came here, I was told that there will be men, but there are no men here. Even in this house, there's only your husband, and he's never even looked twice at me. I said, what? She even had the audacity to tell you that she came looking for men and she didn't find men. So those are the reasons why now women are searching bags. It's because of these same stories. You don't want to search anyone's bag. You don't wake up just being excited about searching someone's bag, but it's because you've got children, you've got a household to protect. That's why you're doing that. Yeah. And so I think one challenging thing that we also do go through as women is just what do I need to look out for? You know, when I'm trying to interview someone, what are the qualities that I should be looking for in order to know that, okay, this will be a good nanny or a good house help?
Okay. You know, there are a lot of reasons, maybe just to mention a few. Number
Yeah.
one, you have to take your time as the employer. Don't be in a rush.
Yeah.
You really have to create time to find a good house help. If you're gonna do it like you do it in a hurry, you'll get someone who will live in a hurry.
Yes.
Yes. So you need to take your time, number one, and also I overemphasize it. Whilst you're searching, you need to start praying for a good house help. You know, yes.
Hey.
Put it on one of your prayer requests. Say, you know what, God, I just need a good house help. Help me find, help me search.
Yeah.
Yes, help me search. And when you start interviewing, one of the number one qualities that you look for, question them.
Mm-hmm.
Are you compassionate? Do you love children? You know, that's number one thing. Are you ready to, it's easy to work with people that manage children.
Yes.
They're easygoing. There are
Yeah.
people that have come to the center that have told me, Auntie, where the children, me, I don't want to work.
Yeah.
Already for me, it's a no.
Yeah.
You know, so I tell them, you will be here for some time.
Yeah.
Because most people that come here, it's because they have children.
Yes.
So you ask them, okay, are you ready to work with children? Even if you don't have children yet, you tell them, are you willing to work with children? Yes. And also hear how they are able to give you different. Okay, tell me, give me an example. Imagine you come here, you found with a newborn, I need your help. How would you manage? The way they begin to respond, it's gonna help.
Yeah.
And also another important reason, ask them, where are you going?
Okay.
Yes, how long do you want to be with me?
Yeah.
They will properly tell, especially if it's a school graduate, a grade 12 graduate.
Yes.
How long do you want to be with me? Let's be very clear about this. I'm
Yeah.
not looking for someone who will build castles in the air. How
Yeah.
long do you want to be with me? Is it 6 months, so that I know after 6 months you'll be going?
Yes.
Is it a year?
Yeah.
That will help them open up. You create that rapport with them.
Yeah.
Openness, hear it as it is. If I tell someone tells you I'll be here for a year, don't force it.
Yeah.
If they tell you they'll be here for a year, have that plan with them and say, okay, since you'll be here for a year, this is how far we can go. Very good.
Yeah.
Some will tell you, Auntie, this is my job. I've been doing it for some time. There are people out there, nannies, who it's their calling.
Yes.
And they've said, I would do it.
Yeah.
I would do it for as long as I can until it's time for my grave. I would do
But
it.
Nsungwe, where do we find those nannies? Some of us, we look for those nannies. We find good ones, but that's the thing. Sometimes the question is it that these type of nannies are found in the med centers, or is it the ones that are recommended? Because everyone is looking for that kind of nanny that can stay with them for a good amount of time because they have that passion. But most of the time, it's like we are getting it wrong somewhere. Where are we getting it wrong?
Where we're getting some, I'll give you an example, right? Before there's one very beautiful lady I know.
Yeah.
She got a nanny.
Yeah.
And she got a nanny. Later on, she realized, no, this girl is quite very intelligent. She proved herself. She went to nursing school. The lady is a qualified nurse. She's at UTH. You know what she does? Even at being a nanny, when she's not in night shift, she still goes back and work.
Oh, wow.
That's a rare case.
Yes.
But then when you come to having a long-term maid, there's also a price you need to pay as the employer. You need to give them a reason to stay.
Okay.
You give them a reason to stay. Be harsh, but also be nice.
Yes,
You can combine
the boundaries that you talked about.
yes.
Yeah.
Like I'll give you an example. This, like, if you've had a maid for a year and they've proven to you everything is okay, and you know their birthday, get them a cake and give them time and say, okay, you go home, because believe you me, that will go a long way.
Yeah.
It will go a long way. There was a time, I think about 4 years, oh, no, not 4 years, about 5 years, we did that for our helper. And the daughter was one who posted it on Facebook.
Oh.
And now, every time, like, she'll get tired. There are people that speak for us there. No, look at what Auntie Sue does.
Yes.
You find out, okay, find where you can come in and say, you know what, I'm here, I'm coming in, I'm using my human side.
Yes.
Here we're not doing the workers' relationship.
Yes.
I'm using my human sides, but also it's psychology. You're also doing it. Okay, here I'm playing a role of where I'm somehow trying to give her a reason to stay. And you just let time tell. Give them a reason. So where you can come in. Sometimes there are house helps that get paid very little, but you hear, you know what, madam, she's been helping out with my daughter for a long time. That's a reason somehow why she's staying. My daughter is in college right now. In case we have a need, she's the one who's been helping out with her school books. This is like part of their pension, not to make it mention to them. I said, okay, this is just a way of me saying thank you.
Yeah,
she's been good to me. She sacrifices her time. How can I be good to her?
Yeah.
Believe you me, they'll have a reason to. Only if someone is hard-hearted and they're just trying to play games. And such incentives, you just don't do them on anyone.
Yes,
someone has
they
to
need
prove
to
themselves.
approve
Of course, there are people that say, Sung, I've tried this, but we can still try
Yes.
on another one.
Yeah.
Yes.
That makes a lot of sense. And so, other than those people that you mentioned who are like in a hurry to get hired or they are carrying charms, are there any other red flags that I can look out for when I'm hiring a helper?
When you're hiring, look at their background. Yeah, look at their background.
They've been changing jobs a lot?
Yes, they've been changing jobs a lot. And also, I've come to realize that listen to their story.
Yeah.
Also, if you're going to hire someone, get to their home and also there's a way that you can find out information. Not that you're being too nosy. Like, I had an incident where someone's like, a friend of mine called me. Like, so I need help, but I need you to come in and help me. So I
Yeah.
went and immediately I told her, we had to do a background check. How did you do it? I sat down with her. Asked them, okay, auntie, before you came here, what were you doing? A thorough interview, rather.
Yeah.
She told, oh, auntie, I was selling on the market. Okay, you were selling on the market. How were you managing to say, oh, now that you're here, who's selling for you? My daughter. So how much do you make? She tells me, oh, I make about 600 a month. So I told her, oh, if we added this money, you would make a 1-2. And she said, yes. So if we gave you that money right now,
Yeah. Would you need to
are you going to stay? She's like, oh, auntie, then there's no need for me to stay.
Yes.
So already you have that answer that this one is short term.
Yes.
Yeah. So, interview them about their business side.
Yeah.
Interview them also about how their marriage ended. There's
Yeah.
one who said, Madam, I used to beat my husband. Already you know that this will go beat the boss. She said, she's told you, Madam Stenzo Sobedes, and I used to beat.
That's
Such
so
answers
funny.
will help you and say, okay,
Yeah.
here, not that you're not encouraging them to say the truth, but they'll help you how to manage
Yes.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
Also, there are certain issues with, if both parents are working,
Mm-hmm.
there are some safety concerns, whereby this is a new helper
Mm-hmm.
and I have to go for work. How do I ensure that I have that peace of mind and that my child is safe with this new person? Because yes, I've interviewed them. They've passed the interview quite all right. I've done my reference, my background checks. But how do I still just have that peace of mind that my home is secure, my child is secure? Especially these days, there's so many stories, cases we are hearing of people who are left to take care of children. They're exposing children to pornography, or they're even abusing the children themselves. So how do you ensure the safety of your child while you are at work or doing your business and you have left them with a nanny or a house help?
Mm-hmm. There are so many reasons. When you get a new house help, that person could be anything.
Yeah.
We're just trusting God. They could be a thief, they could be anything.
Yes.
But then this is a new mom. I'm giving, for example, probably, or not just a new mom. They've had someone and said, okay, my work schedule is busy. So I'll leave you with the child and um I'll be out there. But then this is where also caution comes in. Huh? Number one thing here, we have to strike a balance. This is a new person. You can't entirely leave the whole house to them completely. This is where you make deliberate moves.
Okay.
Yes, you make deliberate moves. What are deliberate moves? If at all there's no one who can help you to put an eye on that helper, or if it means you paying even your own relatives just to be there for 2 weeks,
Okay.
go an extra mile.
Yeah.
For you to have that safety. So no, I want you to just to help me. Even if it's there, even if it's you spending more for your child, do that. And also, if at all there's no relatives that you trust, I always encourage people, if you can invest in a camera,
Okay.
do that.
Yeah.
It will help you a lot. I've had, I don't know how many people that have found out how their children are doing. And also, if you cannot invest in a camera, I just realized there's this which we tried with a friend of mine. These small phones, these with good batteries.
Yeah.
We just left it on record for 2 days. And later on, we
Oh.
had to sit and start hearing to the recording
Oh my
just to make sure the
goodness.
safety of the baby. You have to go an
Yes.
extra mile.
Yeah.
So don't entirely
Yeah.
completely say, okay, she will take care of the baby and not having, even if you're away, at least your heart should be there in some
Yeah.
way,
It's
or
true.
whether you stay on the flats, especially these flats home. Try to just create that relationship with people. Say,
With the
please,
neighbors.
yes, once in a while,
Yeah.
please go and knock on my. Not you can't raise a child alone.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That's true. And so would you recommend for someone to hire help through a maid center or through a recommendation? What would you recommend?
Both ways have worked for different
Oh.
people. Of course, these med centers nowadays, I think you've seen now on Facebook what I've started doing. I don't know that you've seen it. What I do now is that I'm not just running a med center. I'm now training med center agencies how to run
Yes.
centers.
Yeah.
Because
There was
now
that
and again,
gap also.
yes, you find I've had clients of mine, a lot of them that have opened centers.
Yes.
Yeah, so, oh, Sumi, how do you do this? Do that, do that, do that. And they've done it well,
Okay.
So I realized that then there are those clients who come to say, Sunga, this med center needs help. It's just like an agency. It's pay, I give you the person.
Yes.
It's not just about the money.
Yeah.
These are human beings that we are dealing with.
Yeah.
You can't just receive someone's money as a service charge, yet you don't know that person.
Yes, you haven't even vetted them,
Yes.
nothing.
Of course, there's also this part where no matter how much you've vetted, it's business also.
Yeah.
You've done, like I have also these days, we've done the background check and someone just comes and just surprises us, then I know, okay, this is now beyond me. So what also I would encourage us in this business, can we be honest with our clients? It will help. And when trouble comes in, let's own up and say, okay, this person passed through me, let's have it corrected.
Yeah.
Also there are those who say recommendations. Like let's say someone has gotten a job abroad and they say, I don't know where to leave my maid. I've been with her 10 years. Then they bring her to me and say, Sunga, find her a good job. It's a two-way thing. They can either work in the new home, or they'll do well or they'll not. Why? Because there are those maids who come with that mentality. This is not how we used to do things with madam.
Yes.
So now you need to correct it to say, this is a new
A
madam.
new madam.
Now this is why they have to pass through the maid center and be corrected to say, this is a whole different ballgame. Yeah.
Okay. And it's funny, some maid centers will actually even tell you that they only train commuters, but because living-in helpers are in high demand, so they don't train them.
Oh.
Yes, I have noticed 1 or 2 maid centers had that disclaimer in their contracts to say we don't have time to train the living-in helpers because they're in high demand. So some of them just reach and they are taken, and you still pay a fee as if you're paying for someone who's been trained. So I think those are some of the challenges, and I don't know how you feel about regulation for these maid centers. Number one, maybe there should be like a standard of training that the maid centers should be able to adhere to. And number two, also in terms of pricing. Because I can tell you there are some maid centers that I've seen that will charge 400 kwacha as their fee. But there's also some maid centers that will charge 2,000, right? And so what is the justification for such disparities? I wonder if maybe we could in future have some regulation as to these things. Because on top of that agency fee, most of them will still require half salary for the first pay to go to them, So those are the things that I just tend to think about when I think about how this industry is, because it needs some regulation. Otherwise, anyone can just wake up one day and say, I'm running a maid center, and they'll charge you for getting maids through them. Meanwhile, probably they don't train them. Meanwhile, probably they don't do any reference check. A person just comes today, they are shipped off. They come in the morning, in the afternoon, they are shipped off to an employer. Then we are doing a disservice to the women who are relying on the maid centers to provide them with a credible childcare. I don't know what you think about regulation in your industry.
That's a welcome move. It is, because also it pains me where when people talk about med centers, they will not just talk about it's all of us.
Yes.
Med centers, they'll just get your money, they'll also, but yet they're us who are trying to do the right thing. I actually didn't know, you've just given me knowledge that there are people who are no longer training living in maids.
Yeah.
For me, actually, what we do at our center, for living in maids, we take time.
Okay.
I'll even tell you, I think people have called me maybe 3 or 4 times. I'll still tell them, no, you need to give me time.
Yeah.
Yes. Because living in maids, we seriously need to do a background check. I've had instances, I think about 10 years ago, I had, which I never forget, which opened my eyes. There are those who come, let's say like someone is from Chipata. Someone is coming from a polygamist marriage, and they just argued with their husband.
Yeah.
And someone tells her, go to Lusaka. They're so and so they train maids.
Yeah.
And you'll get a job. Just say you want to be a living-in maid.
Yeah.
And they come to Lusaka, and immediately you work with them for 6 months. They are good.
Yeah.
Going into the 7th month, they have the money. If you're paying them 1,500 or 1,000, 1,000 times 7, that's 7,000. They have a full 7,000. This is a Chipata wife. You didn't know she was a wife. Next, you just find change in behavior. Next you hear she's run away. Those are the cases.
Yeah.
Most of the times.
Yeah.
So for living-in maids, we just don't recruit. We need to speak to the, if I told they were married, I would actually request, can I see where were you divorced from? You know, because it's painful on a Monday morning. You're told, Sunga, this maid just left at 5. We don't even know how she ran away.
Yeah.
You know, and now you have to pray that this maid has not left with anything.
Yeah.
And also, you know, if you know you do a good background, you know your work, you know your craft, you know how to do it. You know, it's okay to price people, but let's not overcharge.
Yeah.
Let's not overcharge. Let's not exploit people, because you know
Yeah.
this is hard-earned money.
Yes.
You know, and if you know you have not trained the maid, just say it. Madam Delia, I have not trained this person I'm giving you.
Yeah.
You know, however, you still pay the service charge. If you need me to come and do it at your house, I'll do it.
Yeah.
You know, don't
Yeah.
no, she's trained. No, 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 no. Living-in maids are actually more risky to send. You know,
Yes.
if they are not trained, you can
Yeah.
send someone who's actually just 2 weeks pregnant.
Yes.
You know, because right now also require them to come with their, at least let's check. Are you pregnant? Are you? You know,
Oh,
because there are
okay.
some, we've had people that have just, they're tired of the streets. You know,
Yeah, they're
and
just
when
looking for somewhere to
yes,
stay.
I had an incident. A girl who said, "No, I'm totally stranded. What and what?" Those people that say they are totally stranded, they're the most dangerous ones.
Yeah.
Yes. So you need to really take your time.
Yeah.
And also when it comes to these regulations, we need them so that it will help us also just to upscale.
Yes.
Yes. Because, you know, we can't just wake up. Because, you know, when people, you know, there are times that people have come to my home and they say they find 4 cars and like each one is waiting. I have to attend to 4 clients.
Yes.
And I've had neighbors that think, oh, this lady must be making a lot of money. Sometimes it's even just out of passion.
Yeah.
You know, most of the times actually. And later on, you see someone opens the med center. Like my former house, I had someone who opened a med. She started training gardeners.
Okay.
You know, later on, I think, I don't know what happened. I didn't even know. She came to tell me afterwards. Those same gardeners, she was like, since Miss Siatwambo is doing the women, I'll do the men.
What?
Then they almost attacked her house, you know. But then if we had these proper regulations on which we need to follow, I think it would help. Because really, I'm not, I wouldn't limit someone who wants to open a med center. I cannot meet the needs of every home. No, you know. This is why I've now started training maid trainers so that we can have better maids out there. Because this is a big gap.
Yeah, it's a very big gap.
Yeah.
And so what advice would you have for mothers who are struggling to find reliable childcare?
Mothers that are struggling to have, well, number one, like I said, be patient, take your time, and also like give us a call. You know, give us a call, even if we might take time. But when we take time, we are trying to give you the best.
Yes.
Yes, we're trying to give you the best. Those lucky ones that say you've just called and we have someone ready available, those are rare cases.
Yeah.
Yeah, we seriously need to do a background check.
Yeah.
Even I would ask even for a month.
Okay.
Yes, I said, okay, give me a month.
Yeah.
You know, and I'll hear, okay, she has 3 children. How many is she going to need? And also, allow me to mention this. Most people have had good house help, but later on they say, this may just changed. Another reason where I'm coming back to where the employers, we are failing in some way. You cannot have one helper. You know, you have 3 kids.
Yes.
And you're saying, Nsungwe, there's not much work. No.
Yeah.
That's totally a
crazy,
lie.
yeah.
For you to call in for help, meaning there's work.
Yes.
Even if, no, my kids are grown, they're independent. If you know they are below 6 and they are 3, they are 4, believe you me, you need an extra hand.
Yeah.
Even if you unless you are a stay-at-home mom,
Yeah.
even if you're a stay-at-home mom, we are still working
Yes.
at home. You
Yes.
need an extra hand, even if it means it's bringing someone 3 times a week to come and relieve the other one. Because you as a mother, you cannot manage to take care of your own 3 kids. How? What miracle
What
would they?
more the person who?
Yes. So
Yeah.
there's this burnout which we need to cut.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it goes back to what you talked about earlier to say, okay, sometimes someone will hire a helper for this season. So when they get married, they hire a helper, but now they have a child, the dynamics have changed. So do we revisit that conversation? Because this
Yes.
helper was taking care of the house. Now they have to take care of the house and the child as well. Did they sign up for that? Because also there are some helpers who, like you said, they are good at cleaning the house, but they may not have a passion for taking care of a child. So you hired them initially. There was no child in the house. So now we are looking at a bigger workload. Have we revisited that conversation to say, can you handle this workload? And also, are you going to handle it for the same amount of pay? Because maybe
That's
when you
where now the
started, there
other
was
issue
one
comes
child.
in. Yes.
Now there are 3 kids, but you're still paying them the same salary.
Yes, yes,
But the
yes.
workload has changed. So I think those are the things that we need to look at as employers as well, is we need to be responsible. A person might not have the courage to ask you those questions, to say, okay, now my workload has changed. Does this mean my pay will change?
And they wouldn't.
Yeah.
But where they come from, like me, they'll tell me, auntie, I don't know how we'll do this, but I think ABCD has happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also coming to what you've mentioned about the dynamics have changed now. Like I had an incident where this lady is single, then she gets married. Did they get? Yes, she gets married, and now it's a different. Yeah. So now she has to there's now workload now not just for her, but now there's also for the boss of the house.
Yeah.
So now then she said, okay, there were other issues that were very personal that came in. And now it was a little bit of a difficult situation. She was willing to work, but then number one, they were not willing to increase her pay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and also because Madame got married, she had to follow everything that the boss had to. So, and I realized, no, I think your time is just now. This we cannot correct. Yeah, the way they've told you to just stop, I think it's better.
Yeah. Yeah. So sometimes it may be a hard conversation of where if the workload has increased, I as the employer, I can't increase the pay. It may be time to just part ways and let this person find a job that they deserve and the money that they deserve. So Nsungwe, we could spend the whole day talking about this issue because it's so relatable and there's so many stories that we could talk about, but we obviously have to be able to wrap up the
Exactly.
conversation. So where is your cleaning service company found, or how can people reach you if they want to get hold of you for these cleaning services or childcare services?
Okay, so right now we have a page on Facebook called Haven Cleaners.
Haven Cleaners.
Haven Cleaners, then all our contact details are there.
Okay.
Yes, and also our offices right now, we're just moving. We'll be moving to Showground. So soon we are going to put our new address.
Okay, so but right now where are you found?
Right now we're operating from Roadspark.
Oh, okay, Roadspark.
Yes.
Okay, so you've heard it. Please, you can find Haven Cleaners on Facebook and you can get in touch with Nsungwe. Otherwise, we have been chatting challenges that women are facing with finding good help or childcare. Thank you so much, Nsungwe.
Thank you for
Hoping to
having
have
me.
you soon on another topic.
Definitely. It was such an honor. It was such an honor. Thank you so much, Delia.
Thank
I
you.
don't take this lightly.
Aww,
I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
as well. Thank you. And for you, our audience, if what we have discussed today has related to your experiences, feel free to comment in the comment section and just let us know what your stories have been with finding reliable, good childcare and help at home. From us, the Money and People Show, we say thank you and remember to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll see you in the next episode. Bye.